Alrighty, I'm live yet again. Hold on. There's a little glare spot right there that's bugging me a little. Hold on. Okay. Oh, that's so much better. Whoops. Oh, come on, you. There we go. So, it's just going to be open free for all. So, hello, Kayla. Whatever questions you have, whatever it may be, feel free to throw it at face, but don't throw it at the jawbone because that's vital for me. I hate when Facebook does that. Oh, we detected unsecure or unusual login from YouTube. Facebook, you're not being helpful. Oh, and I also watched the which one was it? The Conjuring with the Nun. I think that's what it was. The Nun Conjuring or whatever. Oh yeah, I'm perfectly fine. It's just my nose has been trying to run away for some reason. I don't know why it's trying to run away. Because if it tries to run away, I'll be like, okay, I didn't need you anyway. But the Conjuring the Nun, I don't know what it was called, but it's the one that has the nun and whatever. Hello, Knox. And that Conjuring movie, I kind of feel rather, how do I say it? I feel kind of embarrassed about it, to best put it, because don't get me wrong, I understand when you have somebody trying to make entertainment, but if somebody is trying to make entertainment and trying to show how a certain entity is, and they kind of whiff it pretty bad, I kind of don't feel good about it because in that Conjuring movie, let me get him out real quick, or his card at least. In that movie, they pretty much have the Goetic Divine, President Valak, as the main focus, the main antagonist. And now don't get me wrong, again, I understand showbiz and making money and entertainment, but the thing is, the issue that Hollywood and pretty much movie makers and all of that, they struggle with the idea of understanding how, oh, there it is. They don't seem to understand the idea of independently going towards said entity on their own. Like, for an example, say if I've never interacted with um, Nebrisus, for example. I never have, to be honest. Now, because I've never interacted with Nebrisus, I'm not going to automatically think that, oh, he's evil. Oh, he's this, he's that. He's part of the left-handed side, so he must be bad. He must be dreadful. He must be this. He must be all these things. No, because the thing is, when you think like that, you're purposely setting yourself up for failure. That's what you're doing. And for Valak, number 62, that's pretty much what the Conjuring movie, I can't remember exactly what it was called, Conjuring 2, Nun, whatever. That's pretty much what they did. They painted a false narrative of Valak, and they clearly don't really seem to have understood what Valak's all about. They did recall the correct part of him helping to seek out treasures and to manipulate snakes and handle snakes and also discover secrets. But the issue, though, is that when you meet an entity that's of the left, when you meet them with force, opposition, aggression, And same thing too for like the being that's bound to that Annabelle doll. I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe it was Malthus, one of those two. But one of the things is that when you go at one of them in a way that's aggressive, how do you think they're going to respond back? If you go at something trying to be pushy, aggressive, and kind of inconsiderate and rude, if it responds and comes at you in a way that's aggressive and rude, how can you blame it? I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist at this, but Ayish, is that how you say it? Ayish? Oh yeah, sure. But as I was saying, when you go towards any kind of entity, be it quote unquote sacred, profane. Okay, let's see here. I think probably the best way to figure out that one would be. Let me think here. What deck would be the most? Hmm. Okay, I think I have a good idea. I have an idea. I think I know exactly which one would be the best way to go about it with. Let me just grab the ones that are planets real quick. And we can see here. And let me just grab all these real quick. But as I was saying, if you were to go to any entity, regardless if it was quote unquote stereotypically good, stereotypically quote evil, stereotypically seen as evil or whatnot, if you go at it in a way that's aggressive, well, if it responds to you in a hostile, pushy way, how can you blame it for being pushy back to you? Same thing, vice versa. But now the thing is, with the ones that are up the left, hello, Mika. And by the ones that are left, I'm talking about the ones that are of the left-handed path. So we're talking like Lilith, Satanus, Lucifer Guru, and all the others, for example. Those ones, they operate by putting their best interest first. And if you go towards them in a way that's not really respectful or mindful, they kind of don't care if they swing back at you in protecting themselves. Or if they actually see you have weakness in you, they will swing at you, but not all the time. The point being is that they don't do it just to be malevolent. They're doing it in a way to actually show you that, hey, you're kind of weak in this spot. So we're taking a swing at it to make you become aware of it so that way you can work on it. And if they wouldn't have done that, they probably would have never given you that tool of realization that, hey, I'm pretty weak in this area. I don't know how to protect myself in this way. So most definitely keep that in mind. But as the sacred, like the other side, the right side, now they are a bit different. Let me turn my fan on because I'm sweating a little. On that side though, if it's not affiliated with them, they kind of just swing at it anyway. Because they have a strict guideline they follow upon. And if it's not by the guidelines, they won't do anything with it. Just keep in mind. Yep. And that's actually the best kind of deity to have. Because they're pretty much putting you through a big... Hello, Rachel. They're putting you through a large test and kind of making you be broken down so that way you can rebuild yourself back up in whatever regard it is. So I'm gonna pull a total of 2 for a question. So first off we have Rahu. Maddie, we have Rahu. Okay, Rahu. Okay. So then the secondary color, if you would. Rahu plus Rahu and Venus together. So contact wise, go with a color that is a very light pink or even a light white or a very light color because Venus, this color is white. But if you were to put white in your eye, you probably may. It just. Because white's also a color that's kind of bland. So even consider. Now when you have Rahu on top of it, possibly go with a contact color that may be like it has the iris, but it has a different shape, if that makes sense. Like the irises, instead of it being like a round circle, it actually appears like a snake eye, cat eye, even like a different shape. But the color wise, think of it like I don't know why I want to go with this color, but I'm going to go with it anyway. A very light violet, because believe it or not, Rahu's color is also purple. So a smoky violet with a cat eye. At least that's what I'm getting from it. Smoky violet with a cat eye. At least that's what I get for it. Smoky violet and cat eye. Okay, for Rachel. And to further explain. Okay, and that's somewhat natural. Then go with the hello, Lissy. Go with the gray. Go with the gray hazel. Then, but because yes, it is open floor. So Rahu again is the color that's just like, I mean not color. Rahu's the planet that's like, hey, look at me, I'm like a Lady Gaga reject, and Venus is that gentle, beautiful color. So for a grayish hazel may work, but the cat eye is pretty much being vibrant. Everything's spoken about. At least that's my suggestion. Okay, guy that Rachel is seeing, hand me. Hello, Naveed. Get over here. Definitely not. Definitely not. Not off the top of my head, no. Were you the one who tongue twister? Were you the one who Can I speak, mouth, please? Were you the one who messaged me on Instagram? I'm trying my best to remember who, because I mean I have. Oh, now that I know, I know. Took me a minute, but anyway. Okay, so tell me about the guy that Rachel is seeing. Be point blank about him. No, it was somebody else that on Instagram that messaged me about something. That's why pretty much I'd much rather prefer, like, if somebody has like questions about whatever, if they want to actually ask me one-on-one, just to go with the link that's actually below. Okay, so let's see. Current position, current general standing for Rachel's. Well, so currently, Rachel, your intended appears to be doing something what I like to call the Mad Hatter. He can be a little bit loopy whoop, a bit aloof, pretty much all in his head and in his own free world. Like, like how when Alice in Wonderland actually met the Hare and the Mad Hatter, and they're going there, very million birthday to me, to who? To me, to you, a very million birthday to you, to me. Yeah. He's pretty much in that kind of a mindset. Like, he's just all in his own little kind kind of a thing, but he's confident in himself. Like he's really grounded, like in himself. Even though, while compared to everybody else, they're just like, is he okay? Is he all right? He kind of is in his own little thing, but he's functioning. So he might come off as a bit all over the place, just like pretty much how the sign of Aquarius is like, what the heck are you? But I'm just so intrigued, and you're just so unique. What are you doing? I'm just being myself. Kind of like that. So pretty much he's grounded in himself, despite, everybody looking at him weird. So he's dependable, I can say that, but just not really in towards anybody else, to put it. How is he actually really doing on the physical level? Like, we're going to start digging deep, because that's just how he is generally. On the deeper physical level, King of Swords. This depiction, though, this King of Swords looks like he just came straight out of World of Warcraft. So, Well, actually, in my opinion, Hecate is not infernal. Because I see Hecate as not even a part of, like, having a certain infernal celestial. I don't even see her as one. Rachel, you better not be talking about me now, because if you're trying to get an inquiry about me, I'm flattered, but I'm sorry. I already have a huge headache I'm dealing with, and I mean, I'm flattered and thank you. I'll buy you some chocolate for that, but because I'm a Libra sun too, well, according to the Western side. But Hecate, I would consider kind of like a neutral force, meaning that because since she has dominion over witchcraft, and witchcraft usually is really a neutral thing, because depending on how you use it, depends on the person. So it's really neutral. But she has meaning that she can actually pull and actually have the say in it, works and how it carries out and whatnot. But I don't consider Hecate as an, and I kind of don't understand where the idea of her becoming infernal came from, because it's just like kind of like putting entities together as a stereotype, but that's just my opinion. So, on the physical, he actually may be playing in a way that's kind of like, oh, I'm so mysterious. Whoa, I'm just trying to get you so woozied about me. Look at this blade I have over here. Isn't it magical? And he's like trying to conceal something. And not to mention, he actually might be somebody who actually does play a lot of fantasy woozy brew gaming. He may, again, now I'm that's popping up again. He may be very knowledgeable in what he knows, while everybody is looking at him like, "What the heck are you doing? Come on, dude!" And because since it's a king, and the highest of the air signs is Aquarius, he most definitely may be putting on something on the physical side, showing that, well, he is pretty unique and pretty different and pretty out there. That makes sense. And by the way, too, another thing also, Mika, there is, I can't remember the entity's name, but there is a goetic divine that I believe, quote unquote, Solomon encountered, that actually had, there was actually had three women heads to it. I believe, I could be wrong though. I can't remember exactly the name, but some even say that might have been Hecate, or who knows. But the thing is, I can't really say that. I can't really say. All that I know is that between me and the experience I've had with her, I mean, she's her own unique thing. And hell actually is very, like actually really and like has a lot of commendation towards her. Like she sees Hecate in high regards because I mean Hecate leads the dead towards the underworld for rest. So that's pretty much as I can say. So how does he feel mentally? What's really going on in his head? I'm gonna laugh like 3 of Cups in this deck comes out because that's actually the Mad Hatter card in the unbirthday scene. Well, in his head, he feels like an idiot. This is the Fool. In his head, he's kind of a little bit dim-witted and a little bit aloof to having any kind of romantic advances put onto him. Like if you were to go up to him and be like, I think I like you. What? What does that mean? You like me, huh? That means you have woozy woo for me, right? I know, I don't get it. Wait. How can you feel like that to me? I mean, I'm just a dimwit. You see, it's kind of like being like a doofus about it. Like they're just like he's just all, huh? Wait, you do? But why? Why? That makes sense. And that this is his mind. This is what he's been thinking. Like, why the heck would she want someone like me who's just so new here at this and feelings and all that? I mean, what do I have except just barely anything that I have on myself? What can I even bring to her? What can I bring to this other individual? What do I have that she's looking at and thinking like, oh, I want this? What? Logically, I don't get it. And because it's also the Fool card 0, it could be like an part of him. Hold on. Supposedly my internet's unstable, so let me fix that real quick. All right, let me fix that. Let me try this. Tell that to stick it and piss it. Okay. So, as I was saying before, the internet cut out. So, how does he feel on the wet side of all this? It's weird. You're gonna giggle at this one. He feels like the Queen of Swords. But now keep in mind, this is no ordinary Queen of Sass. This is a different kind of swords. This Queen of Swords is not actually taking her blade. Here, let me show you. So we can get a good idea. Well, I legit grab my own blade here. So, this Queen of Swords is doing something completely different than the natural Queen of Swords. Because usually the Queen of Swords, you usually see her with the blade like this and she's going like this. Like flipping off somebody and not giving a damn. This one, she's actually taking her blade and it's actually like using it like an instrument. Like pulling like if she's playing like a tuba or a choba, one of those things. Like one of those here. I'll make it easier for myself. Like if she's actually playing like a violin with it. And it's a musical instrument. So on the emotional side, there is this idea of actually trying to attempt to communicate feelings, but because since he has to find the right words to, it might actually be him emotionally trying to logically make sense with it. But there is an effort of trying to accurately say it, but that's where it can kind of conflict because water and air, they conflict with one another. But probably the best way to communicate emotions towards you is if he actually plays it in a song. Like if he plays a song, just be like, "This is how I feel about you," and then play a certain song. That would be the best way for him to actually communicate emotions towards you. And now again, it's Queen. A Queen is water element, and now you're putting it in a water element spot. So I can say there is emotions there. There isn't. intuitiveness there regarding I'm trying to have these emotions be spoken about, but it's just taking a little bit of time because it's trying to logically explain it. If that makes sense. So even at that too, most definitely encourage him to use his instruments to actually emote how he feels with them. If that makes sense. For his next courses of action, he's going to do. So I'm going to pull 3 more. His next 3 steps. Step 1. Okay. You're probably going to look at me and laugh at me when I try and sing that one. Okay. Oh, this just took a big different whoa. Like it just took a big different chain of events right here. But hey, it's not bad. Okay. So, yes, but I had to go through everybody that was above all that, so I'll get there. Just give me time. So, for Rachel now. Oh boy, here we go. The first card to come out was definitely not Jasmine from Aladdin, sitting on the magic carpet going, a whole new world. So his next steps is probably going to be doing something regarding to actually getting a hold of you or taking you to a spot and then trying to romantically allure you by doing something, showing you scenery, and also on the next full moon, by the way, because we see the moon there. But also, this depiction has a white night piece and a black night piece. There could also be a situation where he actually might try to have you see on an equal playing field about something. And again, I have to point out where it might be on the next full moon. But then the next step after going with the whole new world, he actually may kind of be a bit romantic and woozy-wooey about it, and actually allowing that part of him to actually speak with emotion. Because now here's this. You have the polar opposites now flipping spots. So you have now wind and water. Now water and wind, they switched. So now emotions are now going to be coming to the forefront. Now communication is going to now come to the forefront, and emotions are going to be coming out much harsher and more louder than trying to use emotions and logically define them. Because this is a lot more difficult to handle than this one. Because this one is just speaking and emotions are coming out of it, which is actually much better than just having your emotions try and logically make sense and trying to ruse you with them. So expect him to take you to a spot on the next full moon, trying to help you see on an equal playing field, and then from there, that's when he'll actually start speaking and communicating more with the emotions. And then the third step, well, the fates come in and they pretty much take it from there, meaning that things will progress forward naturally. So most definitely if he reaches and invites you to something, just go along with it, because I mean the emotions are there. It's just that he's right now in a spot that's a bit trying to figure out the best way to communicate it, but try poking at him to be like, hey, it doesn't sound so weird. The Fate Sisters, well, there's actually one from there's the 3 from Greek mythology, which has the spinning wheel. Yeah, pretty much. There's that one from Greek mythology, and then there's the other ones that are from the Norse mythology that actually knew how long the gods lived and the whatnot. But specifically for Rachel, my best advice is whenever you have a chance to communicate with him, tell him how much you enjoy him playing whatever instrument he likes to play. So for example, encourage him to actually make a song maybe about like a romantic interest he has. And after when he makes it, and actually encourage him to make it, As soon as he's done writing it, tell him to play it. And then after he's done playing his instrument or whatever, that's when you actually then flip it on him and say, that song you wrote and just played, that sounds a lot like someone. Oh, who could that be? And point to yourself. Because that way, what you're doing is you're encouraging him to let the emotions come out and be written down and then played. And then you grab a hold of it and then you put it on yourself. Kind of like that, yeah, but that's more like the Oracle of Delphi. But the fates are pretty much neutral and daughters of Nyx. Okay, now let me climb all the way back up here. Next on my list, okay. Where'd we go? Okay, let me go. Okay, I got Rachel, I got that. Where? Okay, Moon Enchantress. What magical powers does she have as a witch? Did I answer that question before? But okay, we'll go with it again. So, hand me the Dark Grimoire for Moon Enchantress. What magical ability and powers does Moon Enchantress have? Oh, let's see here. So we're only going to pull a total of 3, huh? Okay. First Blood. Okay. That's an interesting first one to have. And oh boy, you're going to like this one. Oh man. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Knight of Cups. This depiction we have a samurai. A samurai riding on a magical unicorn, like My Little Pony has no Wakasashi. So right off the bat, you're able to use your discipline and your sense of honor and code and your morals in your practice to actually gain the respect of otherworldly creatures, if that makes sense, or other beings. Based on how you carry yourself, you're actually able to get otherworldly beings or entities to cooperate with you and work alongside you. So if you have good ethics, that's how you're going to be able to get them to assist you. Number 1. Number 2, this was probably going to be the most unexpected of all of them. The 5 of Swords. But now in this deck, you have a one-man figure, and then you have a fan club of monstrous entities chasing after him. Like, not a fangirl. Oh boy, here comes the Breakfast Club trying to get a hold of me. You're never going to get me. You're not going to get me, other hand. Shmee! They're going to get me, other hand. Oh gosh, what am I going to do? Where am I going to run? Oh boy. So most definitely too. Here. That way you can kind of see it better. With this depiction, I have to get the idea of if you're also able to, here, I can see it better. You're able to use, funny enough, love magic, attraction magic, and any kind of magic to actually have something be pulled towards you or someone. You actually are able to misdirect and redirect other negative entities into chasing after something else. So, for an example, say if you for an example have like a friend who's being bothered by a malefic entity, you actually are able to woozy woo a malefic entity to be chasing after somebody else. So take for an example, you have a man-made creature or a servitor that's attacking a friend of yours, and you have also somebody else who has caused harm to you. You can actually charm that malefic entity that's attacking your friend into fanboying towards the other person who actually caused harm to you. And that other entity will now fangirl after them, causing havoc in their life. Just an example. So attraction magic to actually misdirect and redirect a force that is at something, you can redirect it towards someone else. And now probably the one that might be just as unexpected as that one. This one is the Fool. But this depiction, we have a man in a straitjacket, and now he has the fan club around him like, oh, somebody poke him with a stick. Someone draw, a man part in his face. Someone tickle him. Someone put a sausage in his mouth and say like, oh, look at him. He's having a sausage. Yeah. But in reality, what this card is also saying is that you're able to have immense self-control and not have anything influence you. You're able to find peace within and peace within yourself to not let the outside influence and affect you. You're able to keep yourself grounded and in control at all times, which is a very, very, very vital skill to have. Because if you don't have the ability to just and not let anything bother you, you can't be influenced or affected. And that's just saying for how it is. At least that's what I get. So you're able to, with your ethics and how you believe in magic and your morals, able to gain respect of other creatures and other entities, able to misdirect and charm other malefic entities to go after somebody else instead of you or a friend, and actually redirect them to something that needs to be hit in the face, and also having self-control and not letting anything outside you misdirect you off the cliff. At least that's what I get. So, and who's next? Okay, I took care of Hecate. Okay, now for definitely Adam, but with a different name. Okay, let's see. Where is that one card of mine? I'm looking for there it is, right there in front of me face. Okay, so because since I figured might as well use this one. So there, yeah, the shoe fits, so we're gonna go with it. So how does this intended feel towards Adam in his same education class? How does this intended that used to stare at him feel towards Adam now? Like, what's really going on with them eyes of the intended? So I'll be using the same spirits I used before. General standing. So, Adam, general standing of this person in question. We have the King of Cups. This depiction that we have, I'm just going to put it for how it looks like. Current standing, generally, we have them as being a fat ass and being lazy with their emotions and kind of being gluttonous about it. Meaning that they know the feelings are there, they have the feelings, generally they know how they feel. It's just they're lazy about expressing and putting them into play. And they think they know how to really emotionally express themselves, but not really. They're just lazy. And they may be quote unquote a bit Saturnian about it, like, oh, feelings? Oh, you're gonna have to earn that, kid. In order for me to get off my ass, you're gonna have to work for it. I'm not moving. Because again, big old geezer who hasn't taken care of himself is sitting on a throne, and he's not moving from it. So the emotions are there. It's just very lazy. On the physical level, meaning that on the physical plane, And so that way you guys know all the messages that are being sent, like if you guys are sending messages, I'm not going to be able to get to them as quickly as I could because I'm trying to just like go through the list to see like who's next, and when I find the next person, I'm able to stop and go to next, just so that way I don't lose track and get everybody fairly. So, but again, as well on the same thing like I've always said, if you have super chats, those get priority over everybody, so that way you know. So, oh boy. So on the physical plane, what did I just say? Restricting themselves. The person in question is restricting themselves from moving and taking action. Just staring at someone and not doing anything, you're restricting yourself. That's no. If you have the woozy woos to someone, go and say it. I mean, what bad can go wrong? They'd be like, nah, I'm not feeling it. But you never know until you take your first steps. So, again, most definitely on the physical, they are restraining themselves from actually allowing it to flow out. And it's just all, the feelings are there, but I don't want to take any action because I'm lazy. And the thing is, when you don't take action, when you know that something's there, you can most definitely understand that, well, you may never get the chance again. So it's best to act now rather than just act in no time. Because if you don't take any action, it may be gone forever and for good. And you can't blame anyone else but themselves. Mentally, 10 of twigs. This is the picture we have a man handling 10 twigs. Okay, whoop-de-whoop. In the attendant's head, well, they are being overburdened with the thought of like, come on, dude. I know I want this because I keep going looking at it, but this whole ordeal of me not doing anything is getting into my head. I really want this, but I just can't get this desire out of my head. So it's kind of like conflicting with her action and her emotion. But mentally, the want is there and it's being overburdened by it. Like the desire is there and it's like getting to a point where it just can't be held on to anymore. Like it's like the 10 of Wands is overpowering the 8 of Swords, trying to restrict herself, possibly because of like some kind of moralistic thing holding him back. And it's just not. It's like she's aware that she's holding herself back, or it could be the other way around, but whatever. There's the awareness of it there, but because of it holding itself back, it's like taking a toll on her mind and can't think properly. Like the more she resists it, the more heavier on her head it gets, if that makes sense. Emotionally, the wet part, we have now that's what I like to call being caught between a rock and a hard place. Emotionally, I have her as the page of sticks, or youth of sticks, or princess of twigs. So, emotionally, she wants to express the long, Well, that sounded like somebody shot a gun. Let's not do that, please. Anyways, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by a bang bang LaRue. The feeling is there, and she wants to express how she wants to give a message that she does want to handle the stick. Catch that however you want to. But again, she's holding herself back, which is not going to be good for her. Because emotionally, she wants to express it and be a little bit playful with it. But again, that restriction is not helping at all, and it's making it a lot harder. Her next 3 steps. Step 1, the devil. Well, Looks like it's gonna end up with her succumbing to the Page of Wands and then the Ten of Wands, and then it's just gonna be broken free. So next step, it actually may resort to her breaking that and just being all have at it. One. Next step, a Nine of Blades. This the picture we now have a woman laying with blades next to her and trying to be woozy woo with them. So after being like releasing the primal side of herself, she actually may try and mentally intoxicate you and mentally allure you to keep you close by, or actually may try to make you feel like you need to stay with her for whatever reason, or actually still kind of protect her. Like say for example, if she had like a way of thinking that her family knew of and thought of and was kind of expecting of her, you actually protecting like whatever happens from getting out and making sure that she's kept safe from it and that nothing happens to her, which if that's the case, that'd be the most ideal. Make sure that nothing happens to her in case of the romantic interest does go that far. So ensure that you keep her protected in case if anything happens. Or actually with the devil too, there actually may be the breaking where you and her actually go and have a good pleasant time. But again, because since it may go against what her family has taught her to raise, again, she might be in a vulnerable state where you have to keep that on the secret and on the down low. So make sure she's secure about whatever happens between you two. And then the Ace of Pentacles. And if doing so, you'll actually be rewarded with some physical asset. By physical asset, meaning that you'll be given some kind of token of appreciation, or something on the real world will be given to you on the physical level, like a trinket or a gift or something of that sort. Or you'll actually feel like you've played a part in bettering her in some way, shape, or form. Or she actually may invest in you in some way. Hummer pull. If there's two other individuals that are involved with her, make sure that they are taken care of and not bothering her too. And make sure she has all the support she needs. Because she does have the feelings, but she's still restricted about it. But maybe even gently go towards her in a very nice, easy way. Not like a way that's like, hey, I want you. Come hither. No. Be like, I've noticed you staring at me many times. Is there something you want to say? Is there something you like? Or just something that's easygoing, not obviously overkill, if you catch my drift. Excuse me. Excuse moi. Now let me go to the next one. Oh boy, here we go. Mika. Okay, Mika. Feelings towards Justin, or as I'm going to call it, definitely not. Just leave it to Bieber. Ugh. See, there's one deck in particular that I want to use. I just gotta remember where I put it. Oh, it's right there in front of my face. Go figure. So, Tarot V, definitely not Tarot of Vampires newer edition. What can you tell us about Mr. Justin and how the connection between him and Mika is? So, just like the same spread I've been using, I'll be using that one. So, altogether with Justin, tell the general standing of him. Currently, we have him. Okay, we're gonna go with it. Currently, we have him in the position as the Four of Blades. Now, this depiction, usually you think of the Four of Swords like nice and sound asleep. This one, not so much. This one we actually have a woman figure sound asleep, and then we have a brother vampire guy being all like, "Ooh, she's vulnerable." So, what I'm getting from this, Justin actually may be having feelings that are being repressed, meaning that when you're not aware, when you're not even questioning, or when you're not even bringing it up, or when you're not in a position where it's being like shown or acted out, he actually has a lot of attraction towards you then when you're being in that position of like, oh, okay. Oh, you care and have feels for me, huh? Okay. Oh, feels? Oh, yeah, I believe you. Kind of like being standoff, if that makes sense. It's like when you act in a way that's not really like alive, and just laying here, he becomes more intrigued, if that makes sense. Like, wait a minute, you were acting like this a few seconds ago. So, that don't mean anything's changed, dude, but something's different. And if you notice on the woman figure, she's actually grinning a little. I don't know if you saw it, but she's actually grinning like, I see you, cupcake. I see what you're doing. You ain't that slick, dude. So, you really, the best put it, he's actually somebody easy to seduce and really easy to, like, kind of string him along if you want to do it that way. But still, pretty much he's easy to get his attention, generally. Now, on the physical plane, like on the physical everyday 3D, like everyday living, I have him standing as a 8 of twigs. This depiction is a vampire figure spreading his wings and flying, coming out of a cocoon. So, probably, let me turn this light on. Probably, if not most likely, you may have pushed him into a corner metaphorically and told him, like, come on, dude. You know, if there was something really here, don't you think, it'd be a lot more bang instead of a meh? So he took that into account, and then he started either working on it or actually metamorphosized, that's a weird way of putting it into himself, and now he's actually made that a part of him, and now he's emerging with it. So whatever direction you gave him to do, he probably, if not, took it extremely seriously, and now is actually acting it out or actually incorporating it into how he carries himself to his day-to-day living. Because there's a strong inclination to actually get things going. And if you notice right here, and I never noticed this before in this card, if you notice right there, there is bloody glare. There is a woman figure back here. I'm trying my finger close. Right there, and she's just kind of in a standing where she's just all like she's standing like she's not impressed, kind of like, oh, come on, dude, come on. And she's just, maybe one of these days he'll do it. And then long and behold, he actually does. So if you inspired him to do something or make a certain change, he's actually really taking it seriously and actually really doing it to actually have that change come about and emerge in a strong, potent way. Mentally, in the head, 2 of Cups. Do I need to say more about that? Mentally, he does see the equilibrium, give and take, and logically, the emotions actually do make sense. So that he actually feels that this connection does provide an equal balance and an equal give and take, and he actually sees this as a really vital connection, and that best puts it. That one was simple. On the emotional side, you know what I'm getting at. Emotions and also spirituality, when I go that deep. For the emotions, we have she who's most high, the high priestess now. Usually people, when they see the High Priestess there, they think, oh God, emotions. Oh, they're being secretive. Not really. Instead, what I'm getting for this is that he's actually being more in tune to your emotions and your feelings and trying to get a better understanding of your feelings without even asking you, meaning that he's trying to spiritually connect to you at a much deeper level. He wants to be able to understand your feelings without you even having to have to do anything. Meaning that if you feel like, meaning like how you know that there's some men who just be all like, I'm trying to figure out why aren't you like being like this or whatever. With him, instead, he's trying to actually focus in and feel like whenever you're in a position where it's bad, and you're just like, oh, just can't stand anything. And then he just comes up and actually just sits there, like giving you his full attention, allowing you to say what's ever in your mind and not interrupting you. Because the High Priestess, again, is a very silent figure. And he also sees that the best way to actually win you over is to be able to gain your trust because you have something really deep to you that you're only going to give to somebody who's actually really earned it and put in the effort and actually proven themselves to actually gain it. So he's aware of it, but mainly again he wants to understand that despite destruction that's going around you, he wants to feel and understand you at the depths rather than just go in Hong Kong Fooey and actually make this like an empty connection. His next three steps. Step 1. First step, Wheel of Fate. Now you can even say this is a Kate card because there's 3 women figures. Next step, well, the next step is going to be natural and out of both of your hands, so it's just going to progress forward naturally. So really, pretty much existence is going to motivate this in the right direction, moving forward. Step 2, Ace of Blades. This depiction shows a man gripping a blade and going face down with it, like stabbing it into something. So most definitely, there might be a part of him that's actually willing to sacrifice something or willing to lay away something that you do not like. Or he actually might use his willpower to logically explain why he wants to better this connection. Or if you even caught him like being like all sneaky with his wooziness, he actually might even try to explain why he's so. That's going to sound so weird if I put it that way, but we're going to go with it. He actually might try and find a logical way to explain why he's so zestful towards you. Like why it just feels this way. He might be trying to find a good way to explain it, if that explains it. And then the last step of his is actually the Page of Pentacles. This depiction, we have a woman figure who's a vampire hunter, and she's surrounded and having accompanied by a lot of wolves, dogs, canines. So his last course of action will actually be to be able to, because since the page is a figure that's also a messenger and that's Earth and Earth, he's actually going to be taking all that you've kind of told him to do in every kind of direction that you've given him. He's actually going to be taking everything that you give him and actually applying it on the practical world and the realistic world, taking everything step by step and taking it seriously. Like for example, say if you're needing help with getting something, you telling him that you need help getting whatever it is, he'll actually help you get whatever it is. I say, for example, if you want like a certain bag from a certain store that's like a certain percentage off, he will actually take some of his own money and give it to you so that way you can get it, as an example. Say if you're also like trying to hunt down a certain beauty product and it's not available online at a certain store anymore, he'll actually work alongside you in you getting it and help you track it down. Meaning that he'll actually invest some of his resources into you getting it and finding it, as an example. So he'll be a lot more willing to assist you with that. At least that's what I got. Ugh. My tongue is getting exhausted. Woo! Next. Okay. And so that way everybody knows again, if you're brand new here, yeah. If you want to ask a question, just put it in. Just ask the question, but just make sure we actually ask the question, because if you say, "Can I get a reading?" So that way the answer is usually always going to be yes, but just make sure you just post your question, because if I don't have the question, I don't have a question to work off of. So yes. Jose, yeah, okay. Jose, birthday May 1st, 1978. Want to know, is search and work? What do you mean by search and work? I don't really understand the question, so maybe rephrase it. So, Katie. Messages from Dee Dee. Okay, let me see. Okay. Ugh. We're bringing out one of my favorites here. Tarot Apocalypse. So, what messages for Katie? How many? Well, why didn't you say that in the first place, Zoe? And also, the Dark Goddesses want to come out pretty bad. So, here they are. Okay, so Dark Goddess wise. Okay, there's a 1. There's 2. So first off, Katie. Number 1. Don't be denying yourself in what's owed to you in terms of prosperity. Now, prosperity is an overabundance of something. It's not just financial. So, for example, you could be prosperous in beauty, prosperous in investments, prosperous in men being woozy woo about you. You could be prosperous in anything. But because the next one is also Dear Woman for temptation. Don't deny yourself in being prosperous in tempting other things to come towards you and invest in you. Don't deny yourself from putting yourself out there, knowing that I know I'm deserving to be prosperous in anything that I want. And if I want something, I can just simply tantalize it into coming towards me. Or even simply, despite, having things being denied to you, tempt your prosperity to come towards you. Tempt whatever you want to have an abundance of to come towards you. Like, for example, say if you want to get a prosperous amount of wealth, and like say if you're playing the lottery and for the longest time you keep missing it, to simply tell your thought process or whatever that's denying you, saying, look, it was cute and all that you've been giving me your viewpoint, but can you go and piss and stick it? Because I kind of believe that I'm worthy of this. So I'm going to keep teasing this opportunity of me being prosperous in the lottery. I'm going to keep teasing that till it comes to me. And actually having that part of yourself to kind of silence itself some more. Because at least what I'm seeing is that there's, but just these three, there's something that you're holding yourself back from gaining that you are deserving to be prosperous in. And you should be teasing that idea of it actually coming towards you much more. But again, don't let it get to the point where you're blinded by this prosperous focus, because you might get put in a position where you might be deceived out of it, if that makes sense. Meaning that you become so consumed by it that other parts of your life get neglected, and that's not what we want to have happen. For tarot wise, okay, there's one. There's the second one. And then there's the third one, precisely like what I just said. So, funny enough, you have the beginning and the end, and victory in the middle. So, essentially, in order for you to get to the victory, you have to put an end to the idea of denying yourself, and your new beginning has to be this optimistic, like inward belief that, hey, you know what, I'm gonna just stand on this edge of possibility and spin myself right round, baby, right round like a record. Oh gosh, there's copyright. But really, stand like being on the edge and dancing, like not even caring if you're gonna fall off a cliff. But this cliff that you may be dancing on and falling off of and landing into actually is victory. So really putting to rest this denying part of yourself and allowing the youthful self to be allowed to tempt and have the just the possibility of it coming into fruition, because as soon as you allow that possibility to even emerge, you'll get the victory, and you'll be actually be revering yourself, saying like, you see, aha, I knew it. And everybody's like, metaphorically, everybody's being like, wow, she actually did win the lottery. She did actually have the faith in herself. Wow. Somebody get the snap cup and raise it as high as you can. And even the next card, it being the death card, and that's Santa Muerte, have the part of you that's holding you back kick the bucket. And as soon as you have it kick the bucket, it'll turn into the unique card of this deck, which is the all gifted, and this is Pandora. When you allow this part of yourself, the curious part, to actually open the box, that you're like, I don't know if I should open this. I'm denying what's in here. You're never gonna get it. So just allow it to open up, and whatever comes out of it, heck, it might be what you want. So just open it. Because once you open it, the star comes out. The wish gets bestowed. Rejuvenation gets bestowed. So definitely take the chance that you've been thinking about taking. Just take it and keep teasing yourself, being like, it's just around the corner, overabundance of whatever the heck this thing is, around the corner. But you just got to let yourself experience it. Because as soon as you let it even just exist a little bit, it'll start windfalling in your direction. Okay. Oh, next. Ah, wrong way. I just clicked up the wrong button. Down to go. So what's soul? What's soul feeling towards the black diamond? Okay. So let's see here. So for the black diamond, which makes me kind of curious to see what kind of stone it is. And hello, Kat, and hello, everybody. If I haven't said hello to you and I haven't answered actually responded to you, I'm just going through the whole Dean's list and trying to make sure everybody gets their thing asked. So, black diamond towards soul, feeling towards. Soul standing, current position generally. We have Ace of Pentacles. So currently, they may be really focused on something that's practical or their financial standing. Or like they're trying to have something in their head or their goal focus point to actually come onto the real world. Could it be you? Maybe it could be. Could it be something that they've been investing in a long time? Possibly. How do they feel on the physical plane? Like how do they feel on the 3D practical sense? They feel like the Queen of Twigs. This depiction, we kind of have we have a very proper Queen of Wands here. And she's just kind of looking at it in a way that's kind of like, oh, what do you want? It's not like standoffish, but it's kind of like being polite, but not enthused. So Soul may be currently in a position where they may be thinking that they're in a good standing and they're possibly too busy with something physical, like on the physical, mundane, everyday, like an income coming in, like other responsibilities they have or other investments. But they do give you attention when necessary. Like they're not mean, they're not rude, they're not inconsiderate, but they're just having a lot to juggle with at the same time. Like they have a lot on their plate and they're trying to be like the authority and trying to get things staying in order. At least that's what I'm getting based on this depiction. For what's in their head, what's in Soul's head, what they're plotting. Well, we have the Nine of Solo Cups. This depiction, we have cups in the background, and then we have a vampiric woman dressed up as a jester in the front, blocking the way to the cups with her burlesque leg. So most definitely, mentally, I'm just going to have to say what I'm seeing. Soul may actually be thinking about a way to kind of allure, seduce, and kind of woozy-woo you into coming towards them. And because since it's also a sterile and also dressed as a jester, they actually may be trying to have you think of a fun, playful way to actually approach you into wanting to come towards them in that kind of regard. Or they actually might be trying to tease you in a way of like saying like, well, one of the things you want, I have. Don't ask me how I have it. But if you want to come through, well, you're going to have to do something fun or something playful in order to get to the last step or whatever. Because there is this idea of wanting to have fun and wanting to give it to you, but they want you to actually work for it and actually earn it before you can go up to the last standing step at all. They're trying to logically think of a fun way of going about it. Or actually, even also maybe even, okay, this is going to sound weird, but go with it. They actually might be thinking about a way to actually romantically woozy-woo towards you. And even tease you with it too. If that's how it works, if that's how it works. Something involving with the mind, but in a playful way. Emotionally, like the feels, we have the Hong Kong Fooey Chariot. So, emotionally, they probably most likely have been praying and wanting something to grow. And, little do they know behind them, or like pretty much as little do they know, the feeling is actually there. They just gotta, stop having their hands together and doing like some kind of hipster dance, going back and forth, whatever, and turn around and be like, oh, my wish has been granted. Like they emotionally keep praying for something that they want, but they don't realize that it's right behind them, which could technically actually look at this one. You have the praying for something physical to come form, like focusing on something on the mental plane to come down, something that's in the thoughts to manifest into reality. And then you have the chariot right there confirming it. You now have them praying for something above them to manifest behind them or manifest to the ground. Oh, look at that. Wish granted. Oh, really? Well, if you turn around and look, it'll be right there. So they kind of might need a little bit of help realizing that they were trying to work on and trying to bring into reality. They might need a bit of a like a kind of a gentle head turn to face it and become aware of it. Like they need to understand that, oh, it's already there, and I can stop wasting my time wishing for something that's already there. The next 3 steps. Step 1, Justice card. So essentially, what they put in, they'll get given back out of it. So as much as they put into this, they'll get put out, and they'll just try and be fair about this whole thing. So really, that one is just going to depend on them and also how you go towards them. So what you put out will come back, and what they put out will come back. Fair and equal. Then we have he who's hung most. This is the hangman of the deck. Well, this depiction shows, an angel getting speared in the chest and being left there to hung. So this can actually show that the part of him that is not really being of much help, like the part that's being a little bit like a loofy loof, it's going to be speared and left to rot away on its own. So say if you have invested towards him a lot, it'll actually be the part that's actually not giving back, which will kick the bucket, and then it'll be balanced out that way. But if you put in no investment, and then the no investment of him actually coming towards you will be kicking the bucket. If that makes sense. If you're getting what I'm going at. And the third step, well, we have the 10 of Cups. We have a figure looking at the ninja with the other. Hey, guess what? Here I am. And then it's just like, oh, wow. I guess it is this way. Unexpected. Because if you notice how she's just like, what? Wait, what? And he's just like all woozy-wooed about her, like, hey, I got you. Oh, is this really happening? If you're catching what I'm going at. So really, when it gets to like the third step, it may be unexpected, and you might be a bit stunned by it, about how fast it comes towards you. But again, the more you go towards them and have them realize this, and the general, when you kind of point out to him like, hey, I hear you kind of been wanting someone like this. Well, if you take a look to see who's speaking in front of you right now to help you see it, you'll come to realize, oh, it is me, as an example. Or like, you know what I'm trying to say. If you help them realize that you're the wish that they've been wanting and you actually prove it to him, they'll actually take it more seriously and actually grab a hold and not want to let it go. But definitely tease the mind and woozy-woo the mind. And don't let them have like the last bit of that fulfillment without pretty much putting in effort towards it. Because when you have them put effort towards you, it'll all work out much easier and simpler. But keep the idea of the investment wanting to be pursued on both ends. That's weird. We're gonna go with it. At least that's what I see. Black Diamond. That was a beautiful name, by the way. Oh. Oh. Hey, whoa. Hello, Lisa. Lisa's here. Okay, now, Kat. What will the love life look like? Okay, which one am I going to use now? Give me this one. Grand Lux. And I love rattlesnakes, by the way. Snakes altogether. Oh, my connection's unstable again. I wonder why. Wait a minute. Hold on. So I don't know like what's going on with my connection. It's saying it's unstable, but hold on. Like am I still alive or am I still okay? Am I stunned of what's going on? Because I'm okay, so I don't know. Good, bad, dreadful, I can't tell. Okay, then, so this stupid bloody thing being on like, well, your connection's unstable. YouTube, why are you doing that to me, you stupid twathead? Ugh. What? Ah, people are driving me bonkers. Not you guys. Yeah, YouTube, you're like, guess what? We're gonna mess with you. Well, okay, YouTube, but you can play that game. YouTube, you remember that thing that I posted a long? Yeah, YouTube, you remember that thing I posted a long time ago that you didn't like about saying like, oh, it violates our community standards. Would you like me to post it again and spam post it over and over again? That way, it's like, oh, we have to take this down because it's quote unquote offensive. Puts it back up. Oh, we have to take it down because it's offensive. Puts it back up. Because two can play that game. Like, don't mess with me. Because YouTube also, no, not YouTube. Facebook also did that to me. When I actually posted something on a friend's wall, that was the, hello, Jabrail. I was playing the Very Merry birthday song for like somebody and I made a cutesy little, like, happy birthday kind of a video for him. And Facebook was like, "Oh my God, you can't use this. This is copyright." Oh, I can't? Look, I just played it again. I posted it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And I just kept posting it over and over again on the same thing. And they just kept responding the same time over and over again. And then it ended up me message saying like, you know, if you're gonna not allow me to post something like happy birthday to a friend of mine, and if you keep getting into a hissy fit of me posting it, saying, yo, it's copyright, I'm gonna keep posting it then because I know it can mess with you. So it's just funny how you're hissy fitting for no reason. Ow. Got an eyelash in my eye, so no. What was I? Where was I? Okay, where? Cat's love life. How would it look? What? I have like so many people trying to get a stop vibrating my phone. People, no, you guys are okay. What do you want? Oh, that's a fail. That is a big fail. Some twat had tried to wizzy with me, being like, "Hey, guess how big I am?" Obviously not enough because I can't see it. Sorry. Yep, I just went there. So cats love life. Give me a total of 3. We'll do the triangle spread. 1. So for cat, for your love life, you might be, when it comes to your love life, you might be feeling depressed about not being more social and more active in interacting with people. Or you might be feeling that 3 cups that you had the most potential may actually turn out to be the biggest hindrance to you. Or you actually may find the most support from 2 other people that are actually 2 of your closest friends to actually help you get this feeling of needing to be loved and cherished and emotionally cared for by somebody else. You actually might be needing their support in obtaining it. But also, the best course of action is the 6 of Cups with the Queen of Sass. And there's a peacock there. Now, usually when I see a peacock, no, I don't think a Katy Perry's obnoxious. Stop vibrating my phone. Stop it. There. My phone just keeps. Stop it. As I was saying. Most definitely, don't be afraid to get feisty and telling yourself that the nostalgic memories, they're vital, and you are more than well deserving of being caretaken for. And don't be afraid to get a little pushy about it, meaning that I deserve to be in this state of hold that thought. I have to make a phone call because now my significant other is now blowing my phone up. So I'll be back as soon as this phone call's done. So hold that thought. I'll be right back.